Yes, the government is facing yet another legal challenge to its plans to deport a number of asylum seekers on a one-way ticket to Rwanda. A charity, Asylum Aid, have brought this case. It's due to begin at 10:30 this morning, and it will be a two-day hearing. Now, they're complaining specifically about the speed. They say it doesn't give time for people to get proper advice, and also the lack of information given to those affected. But of course, as we remember, the former Home Secretary, Priti Patel, announced the government's grand plan to crack down on the numbers crossing the channel illegally back in April. That was to send a number of them to Rwanda in Africa, 4,000 miles away, where their claims would be processed. But critically, they would not then be readmitted to the UK. They would be granted asylum to stay in Rwanda. Now, that brought a number of legal challenges, and initially they were upheld in the government's favour. First to the High Court behind me here, then the Court of Appeal, then the Supreme Court. But ultimately was blocked by a European court. That's the European Court of Human Rights. And so the flight, it was much heralded, wasn't it? It was due to take off on June the 14th. The number of people getting on that flight got smaller and smaller and smaller, and then in the end, not a single person took off. So the government has spent large amounts of money, millions of pounds, with this agreement with Rwanda, getting everything ready. They've got the accommodation ready, but so far no one has been sent. Now, Priti Patel, former Home Secretary, was speaking at a fringe event in conference last year. The government is by no means giving up on this plan. They are determined to see it through. The current Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, said that it was her dream and her obsession to see a flight full of people who'd crossed the channel illegally sent to Rwanda. So the government is doubling down on this, but it seems the legal challenges are only set to continue. And just to give you a bit of context, obviously in 2016, the Brexit referendum, one of the main pledges was get control, including of our borders. Now, at that time, illegal channel crossings were few and far between. The government only started collecting figures in 2018. There were literally only 299 people crossed the channel in small boats that year. And then 2019, under 2,000. 2020 it was up to just under 10,000. By 2021, nearly 29,000. And now in the current year, as of the end of the 11th, 35,607 people have crossed into the UK on small boats. Of those, about 76%, these are figures coming up to June this year, 76% of people already having come and claimed asylum, and there is 118,000 backlog of claims waiting to be processed. 76% of those ultimately are being granted. In terms of the breakdown of the people coming over, 75% are men aged 18 to 39, only about 7% women, about 12% under 18s. And in the first half of this year, the makeup of the people coming has changed somewhat, but over half came from 3 countries, 18% from Albania, 18% from Afghanistan, 15% from Iran. So clearly this is a huge issue. Now, Suella Braverman is talking very tough. She has indeed even floated the idea of Britain withdrawing from the European Convention of Human Rights, which would in some ways be the nuclear option. Not sure that she would get that through. But this is a real problem for the government at a time of a cost of living crisis. It's putting resources, especially in the southeast of England, under massive pressure. And all the talk of deals with France, many, many million pounds spent in coordination with our colleagues in France to try to stop these crossings. And although they are stopping many of them, the numbers at the moment keep on rising.